Hi, I'm Neil Cohen, and I'm a marketing producer slash editor at KVIE Public Television. And what I do is I basically make commercials for public television. And what we're going to do today is we're going to make a commercial for Funyuns. It's going to be a fake commercial, so we're going to have a little bit of fun with it. We're going to be basically, here are the steps for making our commercial. We need to find a commercial director. I'll do it. We're going to develop a script. We're going to scout out a location. Well, we can't really go anywhere today, so we're going to do it on this awesome green screen we got here. We're going to shoot the commercial using this camera here I brought in and this little bit of film gear I'll talk about a little bit later. And then we're going to edit the footage, and then we're going to do a little bit of final touches in the laptop and stuff like that. What we're going to do is we're going to brainstorm some ideas of how to make a Funyuns commercial, like figure out the flavor, do you like them? And this doesn't have to be all positive. We're going to have fun with this. So if there's stuff about them that you don't like or something you see on the bag, like look at the, the ingredients and stuff like that, what they're made of, their size, their shape, color, taste, health content, all that stuff. But so what I want you guys to do is just sample them, pass them around to your friends and stuff like that. We're going to basically break out about 5 or 6 ideas and tell me what you got out of eating these Funyuns. So does anyone have anything they got to say about their shape, size, color, texture? What you got? They are crunchy. All right, we'll just. All right, what you got way in the back there?
They're round.
They are round. All right. You in the blue shirt. They're seasoned. How about salty? Okay.
These are definitely seasoned.
Oh,
They're definitely seasoned.
Okay, and those are the barbecue ones, right?
Yeah, the steakhouse.
Seasoned and smoky. All right, what you got there? They are not made of onions. They're not. There's not one piece of onion anywhere within these. So let's get 2 more. What you got? Yeah, exactly. They're horrible. Yes? Okay, they do not smell good. All right, 1 more. Who's got 1 more to end this commercial with? You can use them as jewelry. All right, use them as rings. All right, guys, what we're going to do now is that we've got these about 6 ideas here to go over. And we're going to kind of develop just kind of like a fun tongue-in-cheek commercial. We're not really making a commercial for them. We're making a fun one for us. And I'm going to show you guys how we're going to shoot and record and edit and put together a commercial with some voiceovers and music and stuff like that and make it sound pretty okay. So it's not going to be really great. It's not going to be polished. But I need 1 volunteer. You second one there in that row. You don't even know what you're doing. But what you're going to do is you're going to be the boom operator. So this here is a boom. It's not really a boom. It's actually a selfie stick with a microphone on it. So, but whatever. It works. It works. And what I need you to do is, our talent's going to be standing over here, and I need you to hold this out of the frame of the camera, but yet point the microphone kind of at their face. So you don't want to hit people in the head and all that. So grab that, stand there, and then I need 6 volunteers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you way in the back, 6. And then what we're going to do is that I need my sample bag, and can someone grab me the smokehouse bag? All right, and then who's going to go first? You. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to have, you're first in line, so come around this way so you don't trip on the cable. And I'm going to have you stand right about here. And then I'm going to be holding the camera, and then your note is they are crunchy. So what I want you to do is you're going to hold this like awkwardly, like in front of your face like they do in commercials, and take one or two and then say they are crunchy and then just crunch them real loud. And this is important for you because you really got to get this audio, okay?
How do I know if I'm not?
I will tell you. I'll tell you if you get in the shot. Usually, one thing you'll see camera operators do, if you get in the shot, they'll go like this, and that just means lift the boom up. But you'll be good. So. Exactly. So, and then what we're going to need is we're going to need a little bit of quiet on the set. So we're going to have a lot of fun here, and we're going to be cracking up a little bit. If we can just kind of keep the laughter down to a minimum. And all right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to say 3, 2, 1. Take a couple Funyuns out of the bag first. That's all right. We'll get those later. And then the boom can get a little bit closer, a little closer. All right, and then what you're going to say is that they are crunchy, and then just jam it into your mouth. So hang on, in 3, 2, 1, quiet on the set. In 3, 2, 1.
They're crunchy.
And cut. Awesome, good job. All right, and then the next line we got is they are round. You want to do they are round? Yeah. All right, now what I want you to do is hand off the bag here and take out 2 of them.
Okay. That are round.
Take out 2 that are round, yeah. And then hand the bag off to the next person in line. And then what I want you to do, step forward about a foot or so. All right, cool. And then what I want you to say is they are round, and then hold them like right up to your eyes like glasses. All right, in 3, 2, 1.
They are round.
All right, perfect. All right, next victim. All right, you already got them, so.
Could I eat them?
Yeah, eat them if you want. I mean, they're not good for you, but. All right, then step about 1.5 feet towards me.
Season and smoke it.
And then what we got to do is we got to show the product on this one. So hold that thing like right up to your head, but hold it on this side.
Like I was doing.
Exactly.
So I just take them out.
Yeah, take one out. And you know what? Let's do something a little bit cooler on this one. I'm going to dip down in the bag and then come out like that, and then you're going to say your line, okay? And you're going to say seasoned, like they're seasoned and smoky. All right, in 3, 2, 1.
They're seasoned and smoky.
Awesome, perfect. All right, and then next one, and then what I want you to do is you're going to look at the bag and be like you just read it, like, and then look at the camera, and then you're going to say, they're not made of onions, and then kind of shake your head, okay? All right, hang on, let me get my focus. All right, we're rolling in 3, 2, 1.
They're not made of onions.
All right, cool, let's do it one more time, but a little bit louder.
And turn the background, because all the ingredients are on the other
Oh, good point, continuity. All the ingredients are on the back. So in 3, 2, 1.
They're not made of onions.
Perfect, thank you. All right, and then, you're gonna do, what I want you to do is just like stick your face in that bag and pull it back out and then be like, they do not smell good. And then come this way and come towards me a little bit. They don't like really get in there like a horse, but like.
No, I'm not getting out of that again. Don't sneeze.
I don't think anyone's eating those steakhouse ones again. All right, and in 3, 2, 1.
They don't smell good.
All right, let's do it one more, but like really get your face in that bag though, man.
Like what you did.
All right.
Put it in your face more.
All right, 3, quiet on the set, in 3, 2, 1.
They don't smell good.
Perfect. All right, and then we got one more. And then what I want you to do is step forward about 1.5 feet, perfect. And then put about 5 of them, or about 4, one on each finger. All right, you got them? Perfect. I need someone to hold the bag. All right, and then what you're gonna do is hold them down out of the frame of the camera, and then you're going to say, you can use them as rings, and then bam, hold the hand up in front of your face. So. All right. In 3, 2, 1.
You can use them as rings.
All right, cool. Let's do one more. I'm going to get a little bit closer. Pull it like right there. Almost like you're going to hit the camera. So, all right. In 3, 2, 1.
You can use them as rings.
Perfect. All right, cool. Give yourselves a round of applause. Well, not you, because you got rings on your hands, but cool. Thank you for your help as the boom operator. We're shooting it in the green screen, so we're going to be kind of putting, you know, a little bit of, not special effects, but a little bit of graphics behind you and stuff like that. And then what I'm doing here is I popped out the camera on the card, and I'm just basically copying over the clips that we just shot. I think this was, yep, that was our first victim there. And then what I'm doing here, this is called file management. It's very boring. It's just basically organizing all the files you shot. And this will be a good way to teach your future self that you like yourself, because when you come back and deal with this in 6 months or a year, everything will be all organized and you'll know what it is. Don't just dump it all in one folder. I can't tell you how many hours, days, months, years of my life have been spent just looking through someone else's project where they didn't name anything or put it in folders or anything. And the least you can do is just put a name and a year and go from there. So what I'm going to do, what I'm editing on here, I'll go over edit systems real quick because I don't think I have. Basically, a lot of people always ask me, like, what's the best editing system? What have you edited on? I mean, basically, the best editing system is you. You're a storyteller. You can tell a story with pieces of paper. You can tell a story with a book. These are all basically tools. These are all the tools that I've learned to edit on. I started out about 15 years ago, probably even longer than that, on a Sony 9000. It had videotapes. It had controls and knobs. I was lucky enough to get one of the first digital editing systems, which was a video toaster. I went to Avid Media Composer. I went to Grass Valley, EDS Pro, Premiere Pro, Final Cut Pro, and about a year or so ago I started using Blackmagic DaVinci Resolve because it is free, and that's awesome. What I use mostly now at work at KVIE Channel 6, we used to use Final Cut Pro, but we transitioned about 3 years ago to Adobe Premiere Pro, just because the reason we chose that is that of all these edit systems, it has the biggest user base of people that know how to edit it. So if we need to hire a contract editor who's going to do some work for us, and you know Premiere Pro, then we're going to get the largest pool of them. These other ones are all, you know, I mean, it's all about storytelling. You're going to see when I edit, you're just dragging little rectangles down on a timeline and piecing it together and doing mark-ins and mark-outs and stuff like that. But it's just, you know, the best editor is you. You have to know how to pre-plan stuff out. And we did this really fast. You know, we thought of an idea where got some people in front of a camera. We, you know, if we were actually doing this, we'd spend a lot more time pre-planning, scripting. We probably have a teleprompter. We'd probably bring in paid talent and makeup and all that stuff, but we're just doing it real quick. And basically, you know, I'm going to come up here next year and I'll probably have a different editing system that I'm working on. And that's the thing, is that you have to be adaptable to everything that's coming down the pipe. I mean, some of you, like, who wants to be in front of camera? And then who wants to do, like, who wants to operate a camera? And then who wants to do, like, audio? The best thing I can tell you guys is do everything. Because one thing I've learned is that when I started at PBS in Milwaukee like 15 years ago, I was just doing like Photoshop stuff for them. And then my next job was basically doing news during the graphics at the CBS station at like 2 o'clock in the morning. So I basically, as the graphics come in, I would call them up during the show. And then the next job I had after that was doing promotional material for the Utah Jazz. So in the off season, we would shoot all the NBA players, like, you know, basically, you know, doing basketball things in front of a green screen. And one thing, and I'll tell you this about NBA players, is that we, in the front of the camera, we would always put like, basically like a box and a piece of plexiglass, and they'd be about like 5, 6 feet away. And we'd be like, hey, Just throw the ball at the plexiglass, and that'll be like, oh, it'll look cool. The ball will be coming at you. It'll hit the lens and bounce off. They cannot hit that from like 5 feet. And like you wouldn't think so, but they'd be like missing the camera, be going up and over, and it was just, whatever. They get paid so much money, they should be able to hit that. But that was a real fun job working with the NBA, and then I came out to KVIE Public Television after that. Sports was fun, but it was definitely one of those things where it's like you're not going to do that for 10, 15, 20 years. Some people do, and it's great, but I just kind of wanted to do something that was more creative and more fun, that wasn't just sports ball every single day, day in and day out. So I transitioned back to public television, which I love doing because it's more educational. It's a little bit more relaxed. You get to be a little bit more creative, and it's like with the NBA, it's just it's the same thing. You've got NBA players coming in playing basketball every single game, and it's the same thing over and over and over. And with public television, I don't know what I'm getting into the next day. I mean, I could, I was out shooting out in Yosemite, doing a documentary out there with Rob Stewart, who's one of our talent. I get to work with some really talented people, some public speakers. We do community affairs shows. I mean, we win Emmys left and right for all our programming and stuff like that. And it's really a fun experience to kind of be back home in public television. But the one point I'm trying to make with it all is that every job I've had along the way is different. And I didn't really 100% know what I wanted to do when I first came into TV, is that I knew I wanted to be behind the scenes, but I've done stuff in front of the camera too. And the one thing I've never really picked up much on is audio, and that's something where, maybe my next job or something like that I'll be doing audio. But learn everything you can. This is a huge playground. And the one cool thing about it is that, I don't work a day in my life. This is all fun. I do this for work, and they pay me, and I come home, and I do this again. So it's been a lot of fun there. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take our clips now that they've copied to the hard drive. And this is Premiere Pro here on the desktop with my excellent file management skills, which you will all have. Is I'm going to copy these files, put them into there. And like I was saying, is every edit system before, you're going to have, similar windows here. You're going to have, your preview window, your program window. You got your timeline down here. You've got your bin of clips over here. This is another subfolder that I made to kind of manage the clips that we just shot today. If I had more time, I'd probably name each clip, each person, and give it more information, but we're just kind of trying to rip through this real quick. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go through and preview these clips and kind of pick the best takes that we did. 3, 2, 1. And then me counting down is kind of a good note for myself to know when the action is going to start happening. So let me go here. Whenever I edit, I kind of like to, you stare at someone's mouth, and then it's like, oh, they're clearly starting to talk there, so I'll just do an in point there. And cut. All right. So that's our scene there.
Everything looks different instead.
It does. Where is it? Can I play it? What is it?
What?
What? All right. 2, 1. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that on the timeline. Then we're going to find our next clip. All right, so I'm going to find the in point there. All right, that one's a real quick one, but that's awesome. And then what I'm doing here, because we shot it on the green screen, I kind of made some fun graphics and stuff like that earlier that I'm just going to throw behind when we're all done. But I'm just kind of piecing together a quick rough edit here of all the clips. And this is basically editing. It's just going through, picking the best takes. I mean, the one thing that kind of sets apart professionals like you guys and a lot of people on YouTube is the second take. It's just take time to shoot it. If you don't like it, just do it again. It takes a few more minutes, and until you get it, I mean, use some lights, use some microphones, and it's we've got some fancy chroma key here and some fancy lights and stuff like that. I mean, you can go to Home Depot and get a light bulb and get one of those silver cones for like $3 and clip it onto a pole. And, you know, I'm not saying it's as good as these lights, but it's going to help you a lot more with your production. And that's something that's, you know, it's just, I mean, you need to look good in your videos, and light's going to help you do that. So, all right, so let's find our clip here. All right. And this one we got to start with her looking at the bag or it won't make sense.
They're not made of onions.
Perfect.
All right, and here's, and then what I'm going to do here, you can kind of see, like just little things here as you're editing, just kind of look for fun frames, and you notice like, oh yeah, his eyes kind of come up there like all like evil. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start out a few frames before that, mark in, and then what we're going to do, because that one's kind of like fun, and I'm going to save that clip for the very end. So we shot these and planned them out in order, but when you're editing, you know, it's so easy to move stuff around that. And then this one here, I'm just kind of looking for a frame where his mouth starts that's closed, mark in.
You can use them as rings.
And then that one's another real quick one, which is nice. And we shot this on the green screen, so what we're going to do is we're going to try and take out some of that green there. And if you guys take away anything today, have any of you guys done stuff with green screen before, a newscast or anything? And you know you're not supposed to wear green because you'll disappear. So that's one thing, and that's one thing why I picked the Funyuns bag, is because you notice on the text there's some green, the Funyuns logo is green, so that's going to kind of disappear a little bit, but that's okay because we're just having fun with it. So, so what I'm going to do here, it's real quick, don't blink guys, it's called Ultra Key. I'm basically going to take it, drag it on the clip, and grab a little eyedropper and boop, done. That's, I can't tell you how like hard green screen was back in the day, and now the fact that it's like that, it's ridiculous. But I'm going to go through all these clips, go through, select it, clip it, change the mode. And then what I did here with the graphics is I just kind of found this kind of like fun sunburst graphic. And I just kind of changed the colors on it, alternated it a little bit. And then here, I apologize, I can't talk and do at the same time. I've never been able to walk and chew gum. So this is a little bit of the process. And it's just, you know, it's just a repetitive process of doing it for each clip and going along. And all right, that one worked out pretty good. And then, all right, then we got this one here. Ultra Key. All right, so what we're going to do is, none of us have looked at this. We haven't seen it. We haven't seen how it's going to turn out. So I'm just going to play it raw for you guys to see how this thing came together. And we're at about 25 seconds, so that's pretty awesome there. So what we're going to do, I've got a little bit of, we've got what we shot here in the green screen. I've got the graphics that I made prior. I've got a voiceover from a friend of mine at work. And I put a little bit of fun music bed on the bottom just to kind of like give us a little bit of pep. And then I made some of these like fun little Funyuns graphics and stuff like that. So we're going to play it and see how good it is.
What makes Funyuns awesome?
They're crunchy. They are round. They're seasoned and smoky. They're not made of onions. You can use them as rings. They don't smell good.
Get your own back.
All right, so that's basically our commercial. Big hand of applause for all you guys. So, but you can kind of see like how quickly that concept came together from just literally like you guys opening a bag and trying them and thinking of ideas and you know, shooting it. Obviously, if you're doing a real commercial, you're not going to do it in like 30 seconds or 30 minutes, but that's all we had today, and that's what we were able to do. And it was a lot of fun. And the cool thing is about doing this every year, year in and year out, is that It's always different. I haven't had any one that's been like remotely close from one group to another. It's always like some people are real negative, like, oh, they're horrible for you. They'll give you cancer and stuff like that. And I'm like, whoa, dude, these are just Funyuns, chill. But some groups really, you know, like latch onto things like shapes and colors and textures in the bag, and they really get into it. But everything is different, and that's kind of what it comes down to, is that, you know, it depends on what side of the bed you woke up, on what your mood's gonna be and how you're gonna perceive things in a day. But this turned out pretty good, and it was fun. You guys were awesome. And you guys have any questions about what I did here or any other things going on? You in the back there, you seem like you had something, or? But basically it just comes down to like storytelling, is that you gotta, you know, figure out how to tell a story. And the best thing you can do is, we did a little bit of pre-planning, and that really helped us, because nothing would be, you know, more painful. Is like, you're gonna get your talent here and you're gonna stand up in front of the green screen. It's like, what are we saying? And it's like, oh. So you really need to sit and figure out what you want to do, pre-plan it, write it down. I mean, I can't stress as much as you guys want to be in front of camera and want to do audio and want to do graphics and want to do all this other talent, but it's like, just write, learn to write as much as you can, write down what you're going to say before you say it, and then go back and edit it and change it and say it again and keep doing it over and over and over. And it's, you know, it's just simple skills like that that are just going to make you so much better with producing stories. I mean, it's all storytelling. I mean, before we had technology and equipment, people were just writing books and telling stories to each other, and now we have things like YouTube and iPhones and these fun little gimbal cameras that you can put on GoPros and stuff like that, and it's all, I mean, the cool thing is that I can hit a button on my phone and put this up on the internet for the world to see, and it's so much more accessible now with what you guys got going on. I got another slide up here, because people always ask me like, oh, you know, what do you use? What do you like using? Basically, here's the gear of stuff that I like to use. What I'm using here now is the Panasonic GH4. It's about 3 to 4 years old. I got it used off of Craigslist. It's a great little camera. I used to be a big fan of Canon cameras, and a friend of mine said, hey, you got to check out this camera, and I checked it out, and I fell in love with it and literally sold every piece of Canon gear I'd been collecting for the past like 15 years at like a yard sale type thing at a photo warehouse, and just got rid of it all and just got on board with Panasonic. The computer I use is a MacBook Pro Retina 2012. I'm using Premiere Pro CS6. You'll notice everything is about 4 years old. You don't need the newest and the latest and greatest to do what you want to do. You can make awesome TV with really old, really outdated equipment. It's cool having fun new stuff to do with, but you know, it's not necessary. I just really got into using GoPros, not because I like extreme sports, but because it's cool having a camera and then having a second shot right next to it of a wide shot the entire time. So it's just kind of fun.